Alright. Round 2, I guess. Some strange happenings indeed. Yeah, if you want to see it, it might be, rather than pasting it in chat, check this out. Just read the changelog. This is pretty much up to date with pretty much all the changes. The only thing not mentioned is the new spell that the absolute zero spell, which is not even merged yet. So yeah, I recommend just reading the changelog at the top. People have already pasted some stuff, but well, this has certainly been an interesting first 5 minutes of attempted gameplay. Let's try this again with hopefully not insane antics. Yeah, I want to go back and see that vault. I want to see what, or watch that recording and see what was going on there. I want to know how those jackals managed to get away. If it was just noise from casting, it's entirely possible. Yeah, it didn't. The build had not finished copying the updated images, so it was stale data. But should look okay now. Yeah, it looks fine. It's all good now. Oh, did I? Yeah, I did. I got my screen. Good stuff. Yep, Ozo's Refridge is now a decent spell. Took many nerfs. Or buffs. Got a dagger. Okay, bat. Were you a cursed bat? Is that why? Did you curse me on that last level? Was it the curse of the bat? I'm gonna blame the bat for that level. Level 2. Going a lot smoother this time. Look at this, we even got a cloak. Okay, I want that leopard gecko out of here. This bat kind of out of here too. Don't want to get caught in this thing, and before I take this guy on I want to know. Oh, well, apparently I don't. Boy, I really need to watch where I'm going. Dart slug. More bats. There's a command you can run. That was that last was just from the original Final Fantasy VI soundtrack. I think it was like the Lost Continent theme, the floating continent or whatever it was, something continent. That crazy portion that's like floating in the air. But yeah, there's a little command you can run if you catch it. If you manage to run it while the song is playing, it will tell you. It's that bang CS command. This little ditty is a homebrew game I made back in the 80s called Super Mario 2. Little known fact, I designed this game myself. A whip sometimes you must whip it. We haven't yet gotten to the new spells, so the new spells are Frozen Ramparts, Hailstorm. Those are the starting book spells, and then this new one is in. You can look it up. Absolute 0. Entirely removes the heat from the enemy nearest the caster, instantly freezing it into a block of solid ice. The spell is unnaturally loud, but oh, that part is not correct. As you can see, with my spell power of 3 bars, I would only have range 2 with this spell. It would be quite overpowered if I could cast it right now still. Yeah, the range scales from 1 to Los range with spell power, and obviously you won't be able to cast it until you get like, you know, a lot more int and 20 ice, if not more. See how easy D1 is? That last D1 was a fake D1. It wasn't real. Fake. Level 3, folks. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read the stack. I'm reading it on the stairs because definitely gonna enchant armor some cloak. And this is why you want to read it on stairs, because you want to go back up if you hit teleport. I want to read it downstairs because it might map the level. It might be magic mapping, but it might be teleports. I'm going to go back up and then I'll teleport on a fully cleared level instead of a level that is not fully cleared and where I'd possibly land in some awful death trap designed by a malicious dev who likes to kill players with his death traps. Fortunately, there are devs that do awful things like that. Chat renders really poorly. Are you sure you just don't have the stream on a really low quality? I think your stream quality is just set low. So you might look into the settings on that. I am streaming at actually 2500, which is pretty high for most Twitch streams. I actually want to lower it a bit, but I like the text to be legible. So yeah, I'm streaming 720p at 2500 kbps. So definitely probably your quality settings. I know that feel though. That's why I stream at a relatively high bitrate, because I don't, well, particularly if they go up on video. I guess it's a problem also on Twitch itself, of course. Yeah, check that out, and hopefully that'll fix it. Oh, I guess I should memorize this fancy. Oh, are you signing it to X? What should I put it on? F? I have to redo my spell mapping. Now we have Frozen Ramparts, baby. Now we're really going to show these monsters what's up. Oh, there's Hep. Heplacicana. Don't really want to choose Hep. It's a perfectly fine god. I'll say this would be a good way to test Ramparts. Ramparts, let's go. Look at that worm. Frozen. Frozen worm. Did I just see? Oh, it's a kite shield. Okay, I'll probably do a ramparts here, and Mr. Snake come stand next to me. And now ramparts got a change to the noise. Its effect noise now goes at every location where it changes a wall, so that means it's going to be louder. That's just so when I move the window over to my main laptop monitor, it looks normal. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how that typically works. You might, I don't know, were you at max quality when you're in your stream? You know, there's a gear that people were telling you to change your stream quality. There's a gear that can set the quality. It usually, it's just based on resolution, I think. Oh, quality was max, yeah. Not sure. I know there can be issues when watching stuff on TVs. I don't know what. Hopefully it's nothing to do with my stream settings, but I don't think it would be. Oh no. I'm just going to freeze Mr. Adder to death. Okay, so the next spell we'll get will be Ozocubu's. We could learn a little bit of spell casting so that we could memorize Ozocubu. That sounds like a nice thing to do. We'll just get to probably 3. I'll get a level up anyway, but that's okay. We want to train some spell casting eventually. Ah, good point. There's level 4. Hey, what's up, Reese? Goes well. We're testing out some new spells. We are not going to worship Rue. Well, we might worship Rue. I won't rule out Rue. I won't rule it out. Yep, I have not been streaming. I always say I'm going to get back into the once a week. Just stuff just keeps happening. Whether it's dev stuff or work stuff or... But the dream is real. The dream is real. The regular stream dream. That's what I should call it. The regular stream dream. That's brilliant. Who else could come up with such a catchy... Such a wonderful catchphrase? Right now, I just switched from ice to a bit of spellcasting. I actually need to memorize my spell. So now, I don't really want the spellcasting so much because I have it. I think the cost is relatively cheap. So you can see they're not the spellcasting cost is actually not too far from training more ice. What I could do, which would be kind of smart, would be just to train a bit of charm so I could cast Ozo a little bit more safely. I don't really like to waste charms in the sense of like it's not helping any spell power, but it would be nice to be able to cast Ozo. Thing is, I don't really have a lot of MP to spare. I'm probably going to cast Ramparts for 3, and then I'll want to freeze a few times, and that's about all I can do. So, not quite at the point where I can really use Ozo too much. You know, if I'm going to stand still to use Ozo, I need to have something. I need to be able to keep casting freeze or do something else. And I don't have a good 0 skill weapon quite yet. I just, you know, I'm carrying something but it's not anything really worth swinging. We will look out for a pole arm. Very likely this character will pick up and use some kind of pole arm because their aptitude is, shall we say, a no-brainer? Do we want to say no-brainer? I think we want to say it. Not an interesting decision. Wujian Council. It's up two-headed. If I didn't say that, I think I did, but I can say it twice. Ah, brainer. Well, we have Wu and Hep. Yep, we also have a kite shield. Kite shield being the renaming of shields being one of the changes in trunk courtesy of Pleasing Fungus. So now you don't have to be confused when you just say, hey, I'm wearing a shield. You can say I'm wearing a kite shield. And if you want to say large shield, you now say tower shield. And if you're saying tiny shield, you can continue to say buckler because we didn't change that one. Only drawback of that change is that the tiles for our kite shields are very clearly not kite shields, but does it hurt allies? Does Ozo's Refridge? I forget if it ignores allies or not. I honestly do not remember. I want to say it harms allies. I have not cast the spell a terrific number of times across games. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I would whiz mode it to test it right now, but I'd hate to. Well, I can go into whiz mode and abort whiz mode, but I don't know. Maybe since there's a chance that this will be a completed run that'll upload to YouTube, it'd be nice to not have like whiz mode in the upper right corner. You know? Not that it will count for my statistics anyway. We got more scrolls to read. I'm going to go down to this next level, read this. It's identify. Go ahead and burn one for... Don't have any other scrolls. It's nice to find... Oh, I already have teleport, so I don't really need to... I will be using potions from here on out, prioritizing that. It is nice to get teleport ID, because that's just a reasonably common consumable escape. Oh, really? Really? Is that what you did? Well, aren't you special? Give me your snake flesh. There's Vehumet, which is certainly the Oh, so I guess that's the thing, right? I need a way to get this spell. Yeah, I am kind of pigeonholed into Sif or Gozag, really. I wanna be able to mostly guarantee that I get the spell. I didn't think about that. By the spell, I mean absolute zero. So I was all musing about different gods, but it is very hard to guarantee that you find a level 9 spell if you don't have a god that that gives spells. You can eventually sort of rely on acquirement scrolls, but the problem is you have to have found enough spells so that all the ones that you don't want, that you haven't seen yet, are not going to be too many. And so it lowers the chance that you'll acquire one of those, because they'll get an elevated chance based on not having been seen. Of course, the spell you want is going to be having that same elevated chance, but a significant boost also because it's a spell for which you have skill training. So something in a totally different school that you haven't seen before, for instance, when doing, say, a acquirement, and the other issue is I have to be offered a book. With new acquirement has changed so that you can't choose books, so it does complicate that even further. What's up, Cursed? How's it going? Yeah, Sif or Ver, the most straightforward. Like I said, Gozag would work because you can eventually buy bookshops, and it's less guaranteed, but it's reasonable. Also, Gozag is incredibly strong, so I don't know. We'll do the boring conventional thing and go Vehumet. Why not? It's what the players want. They always want Vehumet. They don't know better. They don't know any better than Vehumet. Berserk Rage. Glowing Mace. Dagger of Speed. Well, anytime you see an orc pack, you want to be very careful about that, because what that can mean is your old pal Orc Priest, which is right there. So I'm actually going to exclude this. I'll exclude all three of them because I might come at them from a different direction. Yeah, I mean, you can still get a bad acquirement for sure, in that you're offered like pretty lackluster items, but it's definitely a lot more fun in terms of like, oh, I get at least something that's pretty nice. Much less likely to really be a scroll of uselessness. Where I'm at here is a little dangerous because I'm still kind of close to those other orcs, but not close enough that it really matters. Yep, that was a change that I made. That was a fun change to implement. I ended up doing quite a lot this release. At first, it wasn't looking like I was. All of the great magic changes were spearheaded by E. Baring, who almost out of nowhere although yeah, I'm sure it's not out of nowhere from his perspective, because I think he was thinking about this, but he proposed this sort of vast rework of all the spells and implemented most of it, like a very large majority of it. The only ones that I chipped in on were, I gave Frozen Ramparts, which is a spell, the first spell I've ever made from scratch, so that was cool. The BVC change, but literally, so those two things, and then this new spell I helped with, but that was actually from Hellmonk, the implementation, based on an idea that a lot of people have been kicking around for a long time, but he made the patch, and I did some follow-up work. But other than that, that was all E-bearing. Heck Priest, there he is. He loves to dungeon crawl. Don't ask him about how he spells the word two, because if you have to ask, he's not going to tell you. Nothing personnel, kid. Spellcasting up to 3. We are just supercharged right now with spellcasting. How do I feel about training some fighting? Fighting 4 is, let's see where we at. Hailstorm. Ice Beast is a big priority, yeah. I think I'm actually going to go for some more. When are we going to get 2 levels? We need 2 more. We have a level up coming. We're not going to be able to cast it for a while. And we got Ozo's at 17, so we can still cast it. You know, fighting would probably be a decent enough investment right now, getting me a few HP. Because I'm going to need a level up and then another level up to be able to cast Ice Beast. And at that time I could, if I want, go ahead and train a few summons. I don't mind spending some summons to get Ice Beast going, because that spell is insane. Yeah, I know the great T-Lizard did contribute much better than that person has contributed to the past in Tavern. I'm glad he's adopted a new persona. But he had been kicking around a lot of those ideas by himself for a while. I don't think anybody's like solely had these ideas about the notion of it. And I don't know, like you say, I don't know who specifically recommended certain things. I think Foxfire E-Bearing basically came up with himself. But some of the other stuff, other people might know who's contributed specific ideas there, like Airstrike. What were the changes? Airstrike, Foxfire. I'm relatively certain E-Bearing did Foxfire on his own. I know there was somebody else who sort of helped with Starburst. Is that what it called? And then there's the Conjure Flame changes. Not sure, that might have been some Tavern stuff. What are the other ones? I guess it was Big Fire and Ice. Yeah, I don't know about Hailstorm and, Frozen Ramparts. I just sat and thought for a while about what a good spell might be. Not that it was a totally original idea or anything, or not that it was a totally difficult idea to come up with, but Bolt of Hands. Yep, that for BVC I wanted it to... E-Bearing wanted to nerf Necromancy some. That was, certainly a mild nerf. But the thing that was actually more important was getting that spell in line with some other Earth spells in terms of the targeted idea that it has. And I like that. I like that notion because it makes the spells, the schools feel distinctive, even though it's not a perfect idea by any stretch. And some of the notions, like is having a spell school that's sort of closest to duplicating ranged combat really a great thing, like the Earth's school, for instance? Maybe not, but at least now it has a specific theme. And there's still exceptions, like LRD does not really fit into that paradigm. Although I do have a proposed idea for LRD that I also might sneak in this release. I might work on that next once the Absolute Zero stuff is finalized. Sound of rushing water. So that means we have found a howler monkey. No, that means we found a sewer. And we are going to go get a little dirty. Very distant drain. This vault here could be the sewer, but very distant means it's quite far away, so probably not. Centaur skeleton is not. Whack this guy. My crappy mace. What's up, Trenlow? Oof. Iguana, bad news. Let's see if Ramparts can help us out here. Oh yeah. Ramparts confirm good spell. That contra music is for the iguana, obviously. This is the DCSS boss. Okay. Oh, okay, shutting that door. Alright, very distant, so... Ah, this vault. Well, that was cool because we got all the loot, and hey, here's a spear. And we just said nope to that door. I should have recognized it. Big old nope to that door. Okay, brisk rusting, so we're getting vaguely closer. You can't get her. It's easy to get yourself. There we go. Oh, that's bad. That's, oh boy. This is, time for Frozen Ramparts to shine, I guess. I want this ogre to sort of sit here a while and soften up before I let him get close to me. We got the Ozo for 11 AC. And I want old Egypt here to also get taken out. Okay. Now we're going to have to move because I don't really like... Maybe not. Problem is now... Egypt is going to zap us and doesn't have a lot of damage. And it's going to polymorph me. Thankfully, polymorph is not too scary. Like, I could even escape into that portal pretty easily. This guy's going to go down. I'm just going to hit him to preserve MP. Egypt is going to town with that wand. Do I want to move forward? What is Egypt's damage? +0 club. So I'm actually going to go ahead and break Ozo. And then I apparently will turn into a tree. Not like this. I don't think so. This is optimal strats. Look at this. Optimal. Optimal. Optimal play. That's why you have to let devs play. They show you how it's done. Yeah, I rolled the dice a little bit there with that ogre because I let him, you know, take a swing at me. Those that could have hurt, but I have 40 HP and I had 11 AC, so it's like, you know, if he had hit me, it would have hurt. It wouldn't have been anything too bad. Oh boy, is this okay? This is the ossuary with doors.